Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to take you around our farm and show you all the projects and the goals that we have for 2023. So let's go. So mainly this is just a video basically for me to be accountable and to see what I can get done. So I'm going to try to keep the goals and the projects on this list as realistic as possible. Because if you don't know, I work at a plant and I get stuck on the job if I don't have relief. So there's a lot of times where I don't get to come home when I think I'm going to. And when you end up working a double, that ends up killing 2 days of the week. So there's a lot of times where I get behind and I can't get as much done. So with that being said, here's what I would like to get done, and I think that I can get done this year. All right, so I haven't made a video yet of this. I just started it, but this is the beginning framing of a box blind for hunting, for deer hunting. And yeah, we just started doing this. I'm still figuring out in my head exactly how I want to do it, but that's one of my goals, is to get a box blind built, because Kaylee likes to go hunting with me, and I would like to take Kylie to see how she would like it. And of course my brother comes down here, and I think that he wants to start bringing his boys as well. So I think the box blind would give everybody a nice warm spot where it's quieter and it won't spook the deer. So yes, I want to get a box blind built, and we've already started. So that'll be coming up in a video sometime. And another goal here in the garage, this is my Uncle Mike's Ford 850. He passed away a few years ago, and I ended up buying this tractor off my aunt to keep it in the family. He rebuilt this tractor, and one of my goals is to get it running good again. I can get it to run, but the problem is it keeps killing the battery. So I need to figure that out. I think eventually what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my neighbor up on the hill. He's very good with old tractors. I want to get him to come down and we'll figure it out. And we might even switch this over from 6 volt to 12 volt. We'll see what he thinks. But yeah, that's my goal, to get this thing running where it's not killing the battery all the time. And one of you mentioned a while back, I can't remember who it was, but someone mentioned about me doing a garage organizing, cleaning up video, and I think that is a great idea, and my garage definitely needs it. So that is another goal for this year, is to clean this garage out and get it organized, and it's going to help me out all the way around because I'll be able to find stuff. And while we're cleaning up and organizing the garage, another thing I would like to do is get this old wood stove running again. This stove came with the house. It was sitting in the garage when we bought the place, but it doesn't have the pipe hooked up on the outside, so I'd have to run it up the side of the garage and up above the roof there. But yeah, I've never used this before. I did clean it out. It was full of junk, but yeah, I'd like to get this running so that we could work on projects in here in the winter and be nice and warm. And I might even build a rolling firewood rack like Evan from Country View Acres did. I think that would fit this stove real nice. So that's another goal while we're organizing the garage. So another goal that I have here, hopefully soon, is to make my firewood station. I'm going to clean it up and make it better. As you can see, I got some weed fabric here. I laid it out and the wind blew it over. I want to put some more weed fabric down and put gravel over top and just make this a nice gravel area so that I can pull the tractor in and then hook up to my splitter. That's a 3-point splitter, runs off the hydraulics on the tractor. But I want to make this all nice and neat. That way I can work better and more efficiently with the firewood. This is my firewood splitting station, and I cut up logs that I bring in that I haven't cut into individual pieces. So that's one of the goals, and I'd like to get that done pretty soon. Okay, so for the chicken coop, I need to fix this door. It gets caught down there at the bottom. It's falling apart, so I need to fix that. And as far as the chickens go, I think Kelsey and I were talking about switching to a different breed. We'll talk more about that in the future. These chickens, over the past few years, they just don't lay that much in the winter. So we're going to try to switch over to a different breed that lays more in cold weather conditions And also I want to start mixing our own feed for the chickens, the pigs, and maybe even the goats too. Well, the chickens must have heard me talking about them, because we haven't got an egg for forever. And looky there, got an egg. And of course that brings us to the woodshed here, which is, as you can see, running empty. It's time to start filling it back up for next year. Don't worry about us, we still got firewood left. A lot of it's sitting behind the garage. But what I would like to do, a goal, is to have this whole, let me see if I can spin you around without hitting the beam. But what I would like to do is have this whole woodshed filled up for the upcoming winter. And I want to get that done this spring. And of course we got our maple syrup evaporator over there. But yeah, that's the goal. I want to get this woodshed filled up. Alright, so perhaps some of you have been around long enough to remember me talking about digging out around the foundation and putting a French drain in. Well, after a lot of studying and thinking, I have decided against that. And what I want to do this year is go around the front and the sides of the house, and instead of digging all this out, I just want to add dirt and add an incline to make the water drain away from the house. Because I've read a lot of things where you don't want to disturb old foundations made out of sandstone like this, and I don't want to cause myself any more trouble. So I think I'm going to try this at least, and then make sure that my gutters come out far enough, and maybe even just have them go all the way down the hill, maybe dig them out. But yeah, we're just going to try to get the water to drain away from the house, and we're going to see if that helps us with the little bit of water that we get in the basement. Alright, so we're on the other side of the house now, and this year we had one of our best gardens ever using the heavy-duty weed fabric. But as you can see behind me, it got away from us. Even still with the weed fabric, the weeds, we got behind again, and the weeds took over. But we did better than we ever had. We had more tomatoes and peppers and potatoes and everything than we ever, zucchini especially, than we ever had. So yes, we're going to do that again, and we're going to try to keep up with it better. And also, what I'm going to do this year, right here in this area here, I'm going to move the giant pumpkin right here. But yeah, I want to do that because I can keep track of it better, and hopefully keep the bugs off of it this year, because I lost all my giant pumpkin plants last spring, right at the very beginning. So that's the plan for this year. We're going to put the giant pumpkin right here in front of the garden. Alright, so back in the spring I built a fence on the bank in between the garage and the barn. But what I would like to do this year is fence in everything down to here, to where they could go right along the garage here, and they can mow all that too. I did all that to prevent me from spending hours and hours of weed eating that bank, but I need to section off different parts to put them in one section and mow that down while the other parts growing back. So that is a goal, is to get the fence on this side to the garage. That way they can have different areas to browse on. And of course we're going to keep working on the farmhouse. Right now I'm working on the dining room and the kitchen. I started hanging drywall, and we will keep making videos updating you on that. But the goal is to get it done before this winter's over, hopefully. So as far as animals go this year, I want to do the pigs again, and I want to do the turkeys. I told you we're going to change our chicken breed, I think. But I'm glad we raised pigs last year, but I'm not happy with the way that we did it. You know, it was convenient for us to keep them in the barn, but I'm not happy with how that's done. I want them to be able to browse and to move around, be out in the sun, you know, in the weather and the clean air. And so I'm going to be looking for a spot somewhere. It's probably going to be past the woodshed here, where I'm going to make a hog pen and keep the pigs in there. And then as far as the turkeys go, we still have to butcher our turkeys that we bought back in, I think it was late spring. We need to butcher them sometime, and they got to eat and browse on the bank for a while. But what I would really like to do for them is to build a turkey tractor to where I can move them around in the fields and they can have fresh new grass and bugs and stuff as well. I want them to be outside. So that's something I'm going to work on. We're not going to be getting pigs yet because Kelsey can't really help out right now because she's pregnant. But I'm going to figure out something to do for the pigs before we get them. So that's a goal as well. Now, in a previous video I mentioned about our top field, how I want to start making it nice and try to get it straightened out so that we can make hay. I do want to work on that this year. I do not plan on making hay this year though. I just want to start gathering equipment. I mean, even if you look at used equipment, people are trying to charge a fortune for it, and it's going to take some time to get everything that I need and find out what's going to work best for us here. Another thing I want to do back behind me on these banks on both sides of the house, I want to clear out the junk trees and the brush and clean all that up and make it look nicer for the yard on both sides of the house. We'll probably get into that here very soon, especially once we get the root grapple on the new tractor. But yeah, we made 60 videos last year, and I think that's a good place to be. I'm not going to try to do more. If we do, we do, but that's really good for me. And of course, we're going to keep making LS tractor videos, farmhouse videos, and like I said, we're going to keep with the giant pumpkin and just anything that we get into around here. All right, so that's the goals and the projects that we have for 2023. I think that's a list that we can achieve over the course of the year. But I hope you follow along with us and stick around to see how we do. But we'll keep making the videos and we'll show you everything that we get into this year. So until next time, thanks for watching.